welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a few days in my life. Very interesting few days. I just celebrated my birthday. I'm older, I'm wiser. I had the most wholesome birthday. I know I showed you guys sort of like the lead up to the birthday with getting my hair done, doing my nails. And I just honestly think this is the way I'm going to celebrate every birthday, is making sure that I'm taking care of myself, like leading up to the day rather than just like trying to make the most of a day. And as I'm older in my 30s, I would say that I don't do as much for my birthday as I used to do. In my 20s, I would always do like a dinner or a party. I would throw myself a party in my 20s. I think the last one I threw was for probably my 28th birthday, because then 29 and 30 were in the pandemic. So then after that, and also just like now living in LA and none of my very close friends being here. Obviously I do have friends here, but it's not like my core people. It just doesn't feel like the same to throw a party. And it's a different season of life. So the care, the self-care, the self-love, the pampering leading up to the birthday was so important. The birthday itself was super wholesome. I went to the Rose Bowl Flea. I got brunch, got a matcha because I love a matcha, and just really enjoyed the day because I made a huge life change right after my birthday. If you are new and you don't follow me on Instagram, you should go follow me at Ofori-Attah. And if you're not new and you follow me, you know that I decided to pause my company that I have been running for over 10 years, which is probably the hardest decision I have ever made in my entire life. Like truly the hardest decision. And I will definitely get into it to some extent in this vlog, but also just like in general, because obviously life is going to look very different for me. But it has been a very, very emotional few days. Well, even like leading up to it, I'm sure if you look back now, you can see like the breadcrumbs that I left this month, just talking about change, entering a new season, entering a new era. I knew that this was going to be happening this month, which also makes April even more emotional. It's like another funeral in a way, in a month that's already filled with a lot of grief. But I am trying to look at this change as not the death of something, but like the life of something else. And at this age, I feel old. At 34, I do feel old, but there's just so much more life ahead of me. And I've always been the person who's had this dream to do so much, like not to just do one thing. And I think that's the best thing about our generation of millennials, is we were the first generation that really were taught that you could do anything and you can do anything. And so I'm really leaning on that. But it has been very emotional. The outpouring of love and support has been overwhelming in the best way. And so I'm really trying to look at this as like a celebration of the merry young life. And as much as it's on pause, I do have dreams and visions of how that could come back at some point when I'm ready. But for now, I'm just letting myself soak up the emotion and what I'm going through. And you're gonna come along for the ride. If you're here on YouTube, you will be along for the ride. So I'm actually heading to a doctor's appointment with my husband, Michael, who has not been feeling well this week. He has a checkup. He has sickle cell anemia, and he's had a bit of a sickle cell crisis this week amongst my birthday, my business going on pause, all this stuff. So we are heading to the doctor's for a checkup for him, and errands, as per usual, so many errands. Is honestly no joke. It is like a marathon, and every time I think I'm going to get so much done, I always just feel exhausted by the end of it. I do try to plan my errands like in a straight line, if that makes sense. Maybe that's my A-type, but I'm like, okay, if this is my starting point, what is like the stops along the way, so I'm not doing like a back and forth. Honestly, by the time I got it all done, I'm now home and it's like, okay, it's time to cook dinner. But I did get my Sephora package because I obviously restocked during the sale, and I obviously even more obvious, have to share with you what I selected. Actually, it's not even like anything new. I'm pretty sure you have all seen most of these products because it truly is a restock. And because it was my birthday, I got my little birthday present, which is a Laneige little like 3-piece kit. So I'm excited for that because I do love their night lip mask, which I usually bring my full-size one when I'm traveling, but now I have a little mini one that I can bring for traveling, so that's great. But let me walk you through the things that I always have to get. And even if they're not on sale, like when Sephora doesn't do a sale, if I need them, I will replace them. I'm just way more inclined to, even if it's the 15% off. So these are my absolute ride or die eye masks, like under eye masks. They are wrinkle resist, so they are for women my age at this point, but I really do swear by these ones. I've used a lot of under eye masks, and these ones aren't really like for cooling, but they really do help calm down, help the color, help the texture. I think they're like $70, so they're not cheap, but when they're on sale, it's great. The big restock was my shampoo, which is Ofori-Attah. I definitely have talked about this before. I now swear by this because after seeing my hairdresser like 2 weeks ago, she was asking me what I do for my hair because she was like, your hair is just so healthy, and if I only wash it once a week, she's like, how is it like this? And I would say it's the Ofori-Attah, at least for me. When I introduced that, I could see a difference within like 3 to 6 months. Probably like actually closer to 3 months, but it's because I wash my hair once a week. So I don't use it very often. I truly bought it a year ago and I now have replaced it. So if I'm only buying it once a year, it's like a pretty good deal in my opinion, and then I have like the nice hair. So I do swear by that, which that is not normally what I buy, but it is a restock because they are getting low. And then I love the Glow recipe. This is like their watermelon moisturizer. This is a refill for their cute glass bottle. You know I love anything sustainable, so the fact that they have refill bottles, it just feels like extra better. And I use it every day. My skin is great because of it. And then this is a brand that I don't think a lot of people know about. This is a brand called Basma. This is their concealer. And so I originally bought their concealer from their website years ago, but you've probably seen me use this little cute pink tube. Their concealer is truly the best. I swear by it. I lost it and then I recently found it in an old makeup bag, so I have returned to it. And it is the best. So it's their foundation stick. You don't have to just use it as like an under eye concealer. I know on their social, they show people doing it for like full face coverage, but I swear by it. Female founded, women owned, and also a Canadian brand, but very, very cool brand. I saw that they launched blush, so I might have to get some of their blush just to try it. But I would say if it's something that you're looking at trying, the shade match on their own website, like not on Sephora, but on their own website, is the best shade quiz, shade matching I have ever experienced. So I would definitely recommend that. And then the only two other small things, this one is the Ilia SPF like foundation tint. What is it called? Super Serum Skin Tint. So I use this almost every day. I would say that I kind of go through phases where I forget about it, but I just started to really get back into making sure I was using it, especially with running. This is the only one that I find doesn't like sting my eyes or smell weird. Every SPF has like a bit of a smell, but I would say this is the best. And their shade match is pretty good, especially because it is just like a serum. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I would say that their options are good. And then I just got a Summer Fridays little lip balm. Is it an actual balm? Yeah, it's the lip butter balm in vanilla. Super simple. Michael actually got this for me as a gift for Christmas and I loved it. I've been having a hard time finding good lip. I don't love the Rhode lip peptide. I find it so sticky and like my hair is like stuck to my mouth. So I had to restock on this. And then I got a little PR that I'm not gonna open because I technically already have it. So I was sent a new shower head from Jolie, which is a filtered shower head. And I've been using Jolie filtered shower head since I moved to LA 3 years ago. But they sent me another one and I think I'm gonna do a little giveaway, not in this video, but prepare yourself. There will be a video where I'm gonna do a giveaway of some of my favorite like hair and skin things, at least hair things, including the Jolie shower head. So if If you haven't subscribed, now would be the time to subscribe so you stay up to date for when I do the giveaway, which will be coming up probably in the next couple of weeks, because I'm going to try to put together a fun little PR box of things that I love, that I recommend for someone to maybe get some hair like mine based on starting with the Jolie shower head. But now that I've walked you through that, I have to cook dinner. Trying to cook at home more, and especially because Michael's been sick, we really prioritize cooking at home when he's dealing with a sickle cell crisis, because he really needs to eat well. And because he's not feeling well, he's not cooking. So I am the chef of the household, so I will be cooking up a delicious meal for us and putting my feet up and relaxing because I have a long run tomorrow. Done. I am so tired from that run. I don't really know why it kicked my butt, but it was a very hard run. And yes, it was the longest one I've done yet, but it was only like 2.5 kilometers more than what I did last week. But maybe it's just one of those days. This is the thing I've learned about running, is you can feel good 90% of the time, feel fine, go out for a run, and it can just be like a bad run. And to be honest, I think today was just a bad run. I'm also getting blisters on my toes. So I do need to look at some new shoes, I think, just because the ones that I wear, I do love, but I think for longer distances, they're just not the best for my foot. I have like blisters on the outside of my toes because some of my toes like overlap when I run. There's like blisters between my toes. So the toes are not feeling good. The legs are not feeling good. I just had the longest hot shower. And I'm normally not a hot shower person. My low blood pressure makes me hate long hot showers because I usually feel dizzy, but I just needed to relax, to get my body back to like a place of rest, help the legs, and now I need to eat. I had a little snack at the coffee shop where I normally finish my runs, but I need more food. Thankfully, Michael was able to pick me up and drive me home. He was feeling a bit better. He slept in, so I went on this run by myself. But he was able to drive, which he has not been able to do all week because of his sickle cell crisis. So I'm very grateful that he was able to pick me up. Otherwise, I would have Ubered home. I literally am like, okay, this run is done. We're not going to talk about it. That's really how I feel. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. It's over. So I picked up these gluten-free waffles. I loved like Eggos growing up, so I miss them. I also know that I need to be carb loading more, which makes it very hard when you're like gluten-free and AIP. Like I can't have a lot of alternative, I guess, like flours. Like I shouldn't be having any corn. I shouldn't be having a lot of rice. So it does make it limited. But I'm going to try these. There is a mixture of brown rice, flour, tapioca starch, and rice flour. But I have been like playing with rice, and it seems like the safest one to introduce. So I'm gonna have some of these, and then I have like little sausages from my local grocery store. So I'm gonna get some protein and some carbs and just let my body be. Just like forget about that run. But really the thing that I kept chanting is there's peace in the present. Just being present is really what brought me back to focusing on the run, focusing on my body, my breathing, ignoring the pain in my feet, and just reminding myself that I can do tough things. That is why I signed up for the half marathon. That is why I'm making so many life decisions right now. is because I can do tough things. So that is really why I had to lean into this run and why I'm doing this. And I'm here to remind you, you can do tough things, you can do hard things, we can do it together.
What's that?
Did you order?
Yeah, I did.
What did you get?
Well, I got the Simply Delicious Everything Bagel. And I wanted to try the cacao.
Oh, do they not have any left?
No, it's not that they didn't have any left. She said it's more of a spice, and I was like, that's not for me.
No, you're not gonna want that.
No, I don't do... Yeah, Ofori-Attah, I don't do more of a spice.
You don't think it's white?
Should.
So part of this new season of my life is not having a plan the same way that I've always had a plan. I've always had a plan, a type, no matter what. I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm going, I know what I'm working towards, and it's not always serving me in the best way possible. I just haven't leaned into life or like allowed life to happen, I think because of a lot of instability when I was growing up, my childhood, of just things with my dad who was sick my entire childhood, my entire life until he passed away. There was just a lot of instability around his health. And so I counteracted that by being overly A-type and overly planning. And so now that I don't, well, I still technically have a lot of work to do for my company. You don't just like say you're done and then that's it. There's a lot of things that you have to do in the back end. There's also some ideas that I want to give myself space to think about if there could be another season, another chapter of Mary Young, like an act 2 of Mary Young. But that all takes having space, which means no plan. So I'm trying to be more spontaneous, which is so fitting because a friend of mine just texted me to go for yogurt for some froyo. And that's literally not like me to be like, oh, yeah, you want to do that like right now? Like really right now you want to just go and do that thing? Where that was not a part of my plan for today, that I did not think I was going to do for today. But your girl is trying to not be A-type. So I'm going to go get some froyo, which I think will be so lovely. It is like just before dinner, which is also not something I would normally do. I would never go eat something before dinner because in my mind, the plan is, well, you need to start cooking. This is how much time you need to cook. This is when you want to eat. And you can literally hear it in my voice. You can see how I set myself up, not necessarily for failure, but for so many restrictions by having plans. And even since announcing the pause/closure of Mary Young a few days ago, a few people And by a few, I mean a lot. A lot of people actually are like, so where are you going? What are you doing? Are you starting another company? Like, what's next? And part of me just wants to scream because I truly don't have a plan. I have things I want to do. I have things that I want to explore, things that I want to put more time and effort into that I have not been able to give space to. And I really want to be able to do that. But I'm starting with being more spontaneous. This is how you make a change, is very small steps at a time. So the first step is saying yes to going out for froyo. The second step is not having an existential crisis about not having like a very clear plan that I'm trying to work. The plan will come to me. The biggest thing that I am leaning into in this season is trusting God, trusting the universe, that let go, let God. That is literally my motto. That is my plan. If you ask me my plan is to let go and let God and go get some froyo. Can I get a small swirl of key lime and strawberry, please?
Sure. Any toppings on that?
Can I do blueberry?
Blueberry, sure.
Thank you.
Oh no. Oh no.
It is finally bedtime, and I am so excited to have a good night's sleep. I definitely have been not sleeping my best, I think because of with these life changes and Michael having a sickle cell crisis is always very stressful because it can be pretty serious. In all honesty, it can either end up in the hospital, and I'm really glad that this time we did not make it to the hospital. We did have that appointment to check up on a bunch of things, but thankfully he stayed home, so stress levels were a bit lower. But I just realized like life just always happens at once. Just always happens at once. Like no matter how much you prepare and plan, life just has a way. I guess God also has a way of just saying, that's a great plan. Things are just going to go differently. And that's kind of how life has been. And I am, like I said, trying to not have my own plans and lean on my own understanding for everything because, you just don't understand everything in life. That is something I have learned time and time again, especially with growing up with my dad being sick, my dad passing away, my mom having cancer. It's like a lot of things that just happen outside of your control, and you have to learn how to handle yourself, the situations that you're in, and also find that strength within yourself. Obviously, having people, having support, whether that's therapy, friends, family. For me, that's also my faith and just belief of everything does happen for a reason, even when it doesn't feel like it, is something that really keeps me going. And the thing that I always remind myself is this too shall pass. So even as I've made this huge life-altering change, I am also reminding myself that like these feelings of stress or anxiety or even like the doubt that creeps in, especially when I realize like how many people this has affected, obviously like production, my team, there's just a lot of people that this decision has affected, and it obviously was not an easy decision for me to make. But I do remind myself that these feelings of anxiety or worry will pass. And I'm opening myself up to new good things that are to come. That's one thing that I had to remind myself of is when you keep things in your life that are not meant for you, you block good things coming. So it's very easy in dating. This is like the best example I can give. If you are dating someone like even casually, once a week, every 2 weeks, you're seeing them, chit-chatting here and there, but you're not really into them. If you keep doing that with someone who you are not committed to and you don't see a future with, you are blocking the opportunity for the right person to come in. You don't have the free time, you don't have the mental capacity, you just don't have that right energy to welcome the new person, the right relationship. And if you know in your gut that something's not right for you, you have to let it go. And as much as my gut was not saying that Mary Young is not right for me, that's not exactly it. But I knew that I was not able to look at other things in my life and give myself and my time to other things. I've been doing a lot of consulting the past 2 years, and that has brought me so much joy to be able to help other entrepreneurs, as I know the struggles. And I've never really felt that type of support from someone who's been there. And that's something that I've been able to do, and I wanted to give myself more to. And something that I do plan on doing, that is like one of the things I will be working on, is really supporting other entrepreneurs through their journey, especially this year. Things are just like really tough as a small business owner. So that's an area that I'm going to be putting myself into. But I realized that if I kept something that, yes, has been serving me so well for so long as the main priority, I wouldn't be able to add more in. Like, my plate was already full, you know? And I'm the person who's wanted more things in life. I am the person who dreams of so many things, and I need to honor that. I need to respect that I want more in life than just like one career for the rest of my life. So I'm really looking at this as my act 2, whatever that may be, my act 2. The curtains have closed on act 1, and we are resetting the stage for act 2 of my life. And that's how I'm really reframing it. I am putting myself out there, opening myself up to so many good things that are coming, things that I've really wanted to pour myself into, and putting myself first. This is really the first time in my adult life that I put myself first. And it actually is terrifying, because I've dealt with so much in my life where I've been giving and pouring into other people. And that's so much of what Mary Young has been about, is just like empowering and inspiring other people. And I need to practice what I preach. So I need to put myself first. And that is terrifying, truly terrifying, to put myself first and not prioritize other people and their needs, especially when I can see their needs so clearly, especially as an empath. I can feel their needs. So I need to prioritize myself, my health, my happiness, especially my mental health has been really just not great the past couple of years, which is why I really decided to get back into running as well. That's always been super helpful for my mental health. And chatting with friends who are also navigating anxiety and depression has been just a reminder that it is life. We go through phases, we go through seasons. Sometimes there's triggers, sometimes there's not. But health is the most important thing. I can say that after witnessing my dad fight for his health for his whole life, my mom fight for her health through cancer, a lot of other family members. I read the book, The Body Keeps the Score. That really put something in me last year when I read that, and kind of sparked this change of I need to prioritize myself and my health and make space for other things that bring me joy. So I'm opening myself up. And that's what I am reminding myself every night before I go to bed, so I don't have a panic attack about feeling like I just blew up my life. Because I didn't blow up my life. I am going into my act 2. And thank you all for just being here, for supporting me. And I'm excited to take you along for act 2, however it comes to life. I appreciate all of you, and I will see all of you on the next one. Bye.